This is the PSTV, and it's been out for quite some time. Now, I've never really had much interest in it before making YouTube videos. Then I realized something. There was a whole on-tap market of games that I own worth reviewing. So, here we are. And thanks to my supporters on Patreon, I have the PSTV in hand, and I'm ready to see if this little box is worth its weight in salt. The PSTV pretty much contains the guts of a Vita, so two of the main forces behind the handheld are missing. That means no touchscreen or gyroscope for motion controls. Now, the console outputs through HDMI, and just like the PS3, it uses HDCP protection. So if you plan on capturing footage like me, then I suggest getting something to strip that all away. I did use this little cheap $12 splitter from eBay, and it's worked wonders for me over the years. Now, Sony has provided a built-in Wi-Fi for its users, but they oddly supplied an Ethernet adapter as well. The only reason I would suggest even using this is for remote playing PS4 games, but I'll talk more about that in a second. Now, the lonely USB port is used for charging or syncing up any of the controllers, PS3, or you can use a PS4 one. So don't think about getting creative and hooking up an external HDD for any use at all. Instead, Sony went ahead and used their proprietary goddamn friggin' Vita memory cards, which cost a small fortune sometimes, but it's totally worth getting, especially if you have this system, because it only comes with like a gigabyte of built-in memory. Now on top we have the Vita game card slot, which is where you put in your Vita games. It's pretty self-explanatory, nothing much going on here, really simple. Now, since the PSTV only contains the guts of the Vita without that touchscreen or gyroscope, automatically we can cut the compatibility for games in half, as a ton of them utilize those features. The UI is awkward to navigate and use without the touchscreen, as it was never tweaked to accommodate controller use. It's not really a big deal though, as they did find ways to kinda make it work. In the settings, you can tinker about with a few selections. Devices will let you manage the controller paired with the PSTV, or you can add the Blu-ray disc remote for whatever reason. It's not like this thing has a disc drive. The big bonus gives you the power to use an external keyboard. It can be quite painstaking to type anything without the touchscreen, so thank you for the option. Another important setting allows you to change the resolution. I personally left it at 720p as the image is already being upscaled from the Vita's 960 by 540 resolution. There is a choice to stretch it out even more with a 1080i option, or you can take a step back and go to 480p for whatever reason you want. Now, I'm sure you didn't buy this thing to look at a home screen the whole time, so let's talk about the gaming. For the Vita games that I own with compatibility, they all looked fantastic for an upscaled image. Most of these pixels weren't meant to be seen in this size, but they aren't very harsh on the eyes. Not once did I experience any input delay or frame drops when firing up a massive combo in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. The ability to use a controller over those clunky little buttons helped out tremendously when playing anything. As I said, some games do use the touchscreen functions, and with it being absent, Sony included a way to simulate touch operation. It's simple, but can be rather finicky to try and tumble around when attempting to perform motions in fast-paced action games. I'm happy to say the touchpad on the PS4 controller can be used to help smooth out the process, but only a little bit. Touching anywhere on the pad will detect the position of your finger and is kinda smart. It's also very laughable as you try to poke at the small circle off in the corner of the screen. And yes, the PSTV is compatible with Minecraft. I have a soft spot for crafting games, and this one oozes charm. But I bring it up for one reason. There is a ton going on in this world, and the PSTV handles all of it impressively. If you're wondering what games do or don't work with the compatibility, I'll leave a link in the description of the video. And don't worry about grabbing those import titles on the list, they are safe. The PSTV doesn't have any region locking. But wait, there's more. The PSTV is arguably the best way to enjoy games exclusively on PSP. Not to mention the PS1 classics and the slew of PSN indie titles. The PSP games look as you'd expect. They're upscaled from the native 480 by 272 resolution, so don't expect them to be ultra sharp, but the gameplay is still rock solid. I must reiterate that the use of a controller brought this full circle. It offers you both of PlayStation's portable libraries and pushes them onto your television. Likewise, the PS1 emulation is spot on, bringing yet another library of games to the PSTV. We're talking about PlayStation history here, and all of it on this little tiny box. For the savvy PS4 owner out there, the PSTV allows for remote play anywhere in the world, provided you have a good internet connection on both ends. This is where that Ethernet adapter is handy. For in-home use, the Wi-Fi may provide a stable connection, but it's not going to work forever everywhere. After messing around with it for a bit, I can say that it works wonderfully. Yeah, the image is brought down to 720p, but the compromise offers a smoother experience, depending on connection. This isn't the worst piece of hardware. Aside from the fact you can't play certain Vita games, most of which are questionably absent, the device has a ton of advantages for any Sony PlayStation fan. A good part of these games are cross-buy, such as Minecraft, so if you own it on PS3, well, you're in luck. And for the PlayStation Plus subscriber, you'll get even more use out of this machine in the long run. So anyway guys, that's my review of the PSTV, and I hope this helped you out. I'm Rewind Mike, and I'll see you next time.